We're all on, aren't we? Is this it?
Yes, sir.
Look at Brother Brandon. He's been stressing all goddamn day. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2023 Wrestling Wrealm WWE Mock Draft. Look at that. I can't even pronounce it. Mock Draft. See, I'm trying to take my time and pronunciate my words, and I like mock draft. It's mock draft. That's right. Tonight, the Wrestling Wrealm is going to choose 10 picks for Raw, 10 picks for SmackDown to build the show around as priority picks moving into the next season of professional wrestling post WrestleMania. Right after this.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yes!
Well, indeed, the story goes like this. Woo! And the realness is frozen.
And Brian H. Waters, you just made my list.
Welcome, everybody, to the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast. I'm here, Brian H. Waters, with Brother Brandon, the guy. The real Dwayne Allen is currently frozen in the midst of production. But yeah, we are here. We are live. As promised, a mock draft will come to you tonight. We didn't say the VKM words, but I tell you, I don't know what's going on with the stream, but we're gonna keep it going until
we're gonna just say he's deep in thought. He's getting his last minute thoughts together.
Last minute thoughts. A shout out to my brother Dr. D in the building. As you can see, I'm rocking his shirt. Coming to you soon. This is exclusive. So had to rock out, show out for my big bro. And Brother Brandon, how you feeling today?
I'm good. I'm feeling real good. You know, it's been a long day, but we're gonna keep on going. Hopefully, we won't burn the midnight oil, but we can give the people what they've been wanting to hear and wanting to see. So, just quick update. Shot a couple more episodes of that little show that the Wrestling Wrealm is presenting now, but I don't want to say too much about championship culture coming soon to a YouTube near you. And some championship shorts might be coming to you too, so be on the lookout for both. And I think there might be a reel in the future too, but that's what's going on in this realm, from the guy.
That was a perfect segue. You see how he does that? That was a perfect plug. Perfect opportunity. So you guys never let me down. If there's ever a time and space where the Wi-Fi goes out and the connection dies, a plug will be put in place.
Always just like this.
But while you were out, Brian did make the list. I'm just going to tell you.
The crazy part is I saw all that take place as my Wi-Fi started going in circles. You just say, Brian, you just made the list. And speaking of lists, gentlemen, tonight is the night list.
There we go.
We are going. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. See, look, this is crazy. This keeps going in and out. That's okay. This is what it's like when somebody doesn't want you to be great. It's okay though. Tonight is a night. Tonight is a night
where us three, we will tell you how we will fantasy book our draft for Raw and SmackDown. Is he back?
Bro, am I still going in and out?
You was, but now you clear.
You good now.
Like, what in the world? Do I keep going in and out? Like, if that's okay.
Change your lighting to purple. You ain't had an issue with it was purple or green.
Is that what it was?
Blue. Yeah, now that you SmackDown blue.
Should I change the purple?
Change it back to purple. There you go.
You play Judgment Day.
There we go.
Oh, now you're a Heart fan.
There we go. Got a little purple pinkish Heart Foundation get up. Let's see if this makes a difference. But ladies and gentlemen, we are here for our mock draft. You say, okay, well, what is a mock draft? I'll tell you exactly what it is. The Wrestling Wrealm tonight is superstars to build each show around going into 2023's new season, which we usually consider after WrestleMania. So I don't. Do we have time? Should I go into logistics? Should I let it rip, or should we just jump right into it? What do you
Just jump right into it. Let's go.
All right, let's jump right into
Let's
it.
go.
Okay.
We're ready. We're ready. I don't want
let's
you
jump
to
into it.
make the list either. So
No. I don't make the list. So, ladies and gentlemen, issue 2, the 2023 Mock Draft presented by the Wrestling Wrealm. You see that? That's what I was. That was the whole buildup. I was trying to wait till more people got on here, but we can clip it off for social. They can see that later. Like, did you guys see the draft sounds? You heard the crowd announcing, but listen to me. I brought a few friends with me to keep us company while we're on the show. Brother Hugh's out. And in his absence, I got a couple of people to make sure that the show stays exciting. It stays nice and snippy.
Acknowledge me.
Oh, now he wants to acknowledge.
I didn't hear the sound. It was too quick. You might have to run that back.
I heard it. I just, I know a lot of y'all was sitting up there thinking, Cody, think it was going to be a story. Finish the story. But the real Dwayne Allen, as his internet decides to get together, I'm just going to sit here and talk to the people.
Okay.
Dr. D in the building, those wrestling girls in the building. Ed Fry's 2002 in the building. Thanks for the compliment on shirt. Shout out to Dr. D, one of the pioneers, the OGs in the game. But brother Brandon, that was on point.
Yeah. So he must can still hear us. He just can't interact with us. So let's hope he's still playing.
One of his friends playing in the background. But brother Brandon,
yes, sir.
You plan to surprise the people tonight with your picks?
I think I got some shockers, and I got some reasons why. And if that happens this year, all I'm gonna say is Triple H cut me a check, because you're gonna like my booking decision and why I'm building the brand the way I am. I was talking to Brother Hugh earlier, and I gave him a little short preview, and he said, "Oh, that's actually a good one." So all my picks were pretty. It's going to further the storylines and build some new ones at the same time, and offer some clarification too, because I think we need some clarity in some things that's going on in WWE, and this is the perfect way to work yourself out of these confusing narratives, but create more. Oh, which way do we want to go? Narratives.
Broadcast in the building. Shout out to the broadcast.
Do we got people coming in? We got people coming in. All right, this is perfect. I came back just in time.
Brother Hugh getting love in the chat.
All right, good brothers. I think we got all the technical difficulties out of the way.
Oh,
are we ready? Are we ready to do this?
I'm ready.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, if you run that thing one more time, will it mess you up?
No. I was about to say it. Let's just run it right now. So, for everybody that just came in, we want to welcome you to the 2023 WWE Mock Draft presented by the Wrestling Wrealm.
You like sports?
See, there we go. now we can get into the mix. So, gentlemen, tonight we are going to do a mock draft. Let's jump right into it. We have each chosen 10 superstars to build Raw around, 10 superstars to build SmackDown around. Do we have the graphic that where's the graphic with the rules at? Brother Hugh, could you upload the graphics with the rules?
So Brother Hugh is going to upload it. Taquan in the building.
No comments, Brian?
No, it's funny because like I look at the realness and to see if his eyes blinking.
Bro, like we're breaking every rule right now. Like if the rule is no dead air.
Yeah.
Like, no
comments. You see, that's why I went to say, hey, we got
I thought I was going to upload this early, but I didn't. So that's okay. I'll jump right into it. So here are the draft guidelines, ladies and gentlemen. All superstars are eligible for the main roster, including NXT. 10 superstars for Raw, 10 superstars for SmackDown. All right. Factions and tag team count as one. Champions stay on both shows as of right now. Right. So if Bianca Belair is the Raw Women's Raw Women's Champion, she does not have to count as one. If Gunther is the Intercontinental Champion, and he is currently on SmackDown. He does not count as one.
Right.
So your champion stay in place, but the New Day count as one faction. The Brawling Brutes count as one faction. The Bloodline, even though they're kind of exempt, count as one faction.
Exempt.
We got it?
Oh, exempt. Okay.
Well, because Roman's the champion, and they go.
No, I was here. I knew what you meant, but I heard extinct at first. I was like,
wow. Okay. No, not
because you've
quite.
been trying to kill the Bloodline for the past 2 months.
Have I? Has it been that bad?
But they strong as ever. Solo, he throwing his
So
thing.
So you throwing that in that face. But let me say this about Solo. But do you ever notice how he's getting much of a rub? He's in the ring with all the heavy hitters, and I'm like, man, they got to do all this stuff, because it's like, if you notice, they're trying to get him going. He's becoming more and more the spotlight of the Bloodline.
Yeah, because his brother coming. Rikishi posted another one.
Yeah, bro. These Samoans keep coming out and they just come from everywhere.
Lance told me straight up, they told him, play baseball, because wrestling always gonna be there. And you see, that's been the pattern. You play a sport, you leave it, and then you go wrestle, and you make money.
Right. I mean, that's kind of what it is. But man, shout out to Rikishi and the family. The Anoa'i 5-2 Wrestling Dynasty is something to behold, because we definitely have another Uso. But gentlemen, who wants to go first? Let's see how we're gonna do this. Should we do rock, paper, scissors? Like, how do we do this? Rock, paper, scissors?
You ready?
Yeah, that's what we do, right?
Okay, wait. So let's hold on. We got to do the rules first, because there's 3 of us. Everybody don't play rock, paper, scissors the same way. For people who are listening, you're just gonna have to listen really closely, because we're doing rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right. So is it rock, paper, scissors, shoot, or is it rock, paper, scissors? No, that makes no sense.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay, all right. New Age Outlaw style. Okay. So.
Goes wrong hand.
Okay, ready? Hold on. Everybody, hands up. You ready? Let's go. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
I'm out.
All right, okay. All right, Brandon, come on. Ready? Here we go. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Ah!
Okay. Oh, you didn't know?
All right.
Which one you want to start with? Raw or SmackDown?
However you want to do it, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to go with Raw.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Raw.
Here we go.
My number 1 draft pick is none other than Sami Zayn. Now, I know you said champions stay the same, but I'm drafting him to Raw for a purpose. Now, when you draft him to Raw, that frees up the SmackDown titles to stay on SmackDown. So now he's on Raw with his tag team partner as the Raw tag team champions only.
Got it. Wow. See, he's cheating. You're trying to
I'm not cheating, because this one's gonna make you mad too. So my second draft pick is Imperium as a 3-man faction to Raw. Now I know you said champions stay in place, but guess what?
That counts. That's okay.
Breaking all the rules.
No, I'm gonna tell you why, but it's gonna be when I get to my SmackDown draft. If you follow the Belted Ball, if Imperium is there, you have some opponents for Gunther. You have some opponents for Imperium within the tag team realm, and who's to say they can't be the next up tag team to hold a strap? Number 3, this one's gonna blow your mind, and I don't know if you're ready for this one. And Dwayne, you should appreciate this. Number 3, Tegan Knox. Why do you think I'm drafting her as high on the list?
I have no idea.
He's frozen. So one thing that we noticed when Dakota Kai and Io Sky comes back, it seemed like something's missing. If you go back to the black and gold days of NXT, those were dance partners and they had stellar matches. Tegan Knox is that missing tool in the toolbox, that missing cog. She could probably bring out what some of those women are missing, like a Michin, a Piper Niven, Nikki Cross, Io, Dakota Kai. Those dance partners right there, you can elevate the women's division by bringing her in hot and bringing her in up high. So that way, because it seemed like every time they have a match, it's like, something's missing. And Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox had very good matches in NXT.
So you picked her at 3?
Huh? I picked her as number 3.
No, I'm messing with you.
Number 4. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with this team or not, but it's a team. Are you familiar with Pretty Deadly?
Yeah, I watch NXT every week.
Okay, so they are my number 4 pick, and being so, you got. I don't know why. I still feel like Raw wants to have that comedic side, and those are some of the things I enjoy. So with Pretty Deadly, what you can have is them having a feud with the Maximum Male Models. It gives them something to do to establish them. And why wouldn't they fight over Maxine? Because they already have a gimmick similar, but they can wrestle, and that would help. I can't even think of what that Mansoir and it would help put some evidence on a secondary tag team and not just going after the titles. It would be a good feud, but then you still have the Alpha Academy in the background. You got Imperium still there that could still have running back with them and Pretty Deadly from NXT. Number 5. You ready for this one?
Mm-hmm.
Tommaso
She's a hard, yo.
Tommaso Ciampa. So
okay,
you might think, Brandon, are you rebuilding NXT? No, I'm rebuilding.
I know that's what you do, but that's the point. It's your draft.
But no, what I'm doing is building dance partners that we don't have to have. Because right now, if you notice, Kevin Owens is solo. That was like that 5th time wrestling. And it kind of has that Vince McMahon odor to it. So you got to give him some new dance partners, because when Tommaso comes back from his injury.
Did you say Vince McMahon odor?
Yeah. Because we have to play dust. So we have Vince McMahon odor because he had his stink all over that. That's
wow. Oh, come on. Let's not act like everything Vince did was bad. I mean,
I'm not saying
did was bad.
I gave him his credit. I said he is the reason that I'm a wrestling fan. But in the latter years,
we've been eating filet mignon after we was eating, steak from, we went from Texas Roadhouse.
I knew he's gonna disrespect one. I knew he's gonna disrespect.
Right, my
somebody.
bad. I forgot.
I knew he was gonna disrespect.
We went from a Friday steak.
Okay,
to the $500 steakhouse.
No. Let me clarify my point of the Vince McMahon
stench. The stink.
The odor. I like odor. Say odor. That sounds better.
So it had a Vince McMahon odor to it, because don't get me wrong, he is the reason we're here right now. Let's just call it. So funny. But in the latter years, when I went into my wrestling comas, it's because I think that he lost touch with what wrestling was versus entertainment, and was just who's here, just cut and paste. And we started getting the same things over, and it got stale. He really lost his passion for it, because I think he went more to the business side, which can't blame him. He's an awesome businessman. But Triple H has a mind.
When did you go into your coma?
Multiple times. But we're gonna get back to this draft.
Because I was just trying to figure out the year. I was gonna say probably other things, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I'm on number 6. So I said Tommaso, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. The reason being, if you have Tommaso and Gunther on the same show, that leads you to another pay-per-view. But if you decide to go a different route and you want to reunite him and Johnny, that gives Johnny something to do. But think about this. That gives Johnny something to do with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. It gives us something to do with Imperium, Pretty Deadly, Alpha Academy. It gives a tag team another death. And I'm all for those tag teams getting the triple crown of tag teams. Next one, return from injury, AJ Styles. You still need that star power on Raw, and AJ Styles has proven that at any moment he can be thrust into that main person. He has plenty of dance partners now. If you have the current roster that you have, like a Edge, a Riddle, Seth Rollins, even Cody, you still have untapped territory. You got to get the most out of AJ within these next 2 years, or that's it. So why not go ahead and make him, I don't want to say the face that run the place, AJ, but bring him back to that dominant role, because you're going to need major superstars. Number 7, and I'm only doing this because Bianca stays on Raw, so the Street Profits stays. But the Street Profits only stay as a unit, but they must, and this will be a topic for another show, one has to win Money in the Bank, and the other has to win King of the Ring.
You keep adding stipulations to the draft.
Right.
You said build it, right?
I did. I did not think you were going to go on the Raw vs SmackDown full GM mode. Like you said it, and I thought you were joking. I see now you weren't joking.
So, all right, I'm going to be quick with my last ones for Raw. 8, Ilya Dragunov.
Oh, I like that.
I knew
pick.
I wanted to see. I heard what you said about Tegan Knox, but I was like, I knew you're like Paul Heyman. You're all about young talent. You're all about building new stars.
Oh,
So I
I'm
was
mixing
waiting
it
to
up.
hear. No, and I knew you would. That's why I knew if it was anybody, it was going to be you. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. So number 9. Well, you'll love this one. Nikita Lyons. She has a fan following. She has the fan base. She's going to put eyes in the women's division that you need with the additional star power you're trying to pump into it. Has she outgrown NXT? Absolutely not. Could she add something different to Raw? Absolutely.
She's still a level up.
Listen to what I'm saying. She's going to add eyes in the front. Think about this. And the reason I'm saying this, right?
NXT's version of main event.
So let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
How did you find out about the Alliance? Was it her wrestling or was it the memes?
It was definitely the memes. Let's be real.
Right, that's all I'm gonna say.
But see, that's why I didn't think you would buy into that. You know what I mean? Like
I didn't, but guess what? I was a Piper Niven fan when she became Dewdrop. I was like, you just wasted her whole potential. So you got to utilize, because Chelsea Green, look what she is right now. She's just the let me speak to your manager character, and it's working. So that's what I'm saying. She can be in that role because the women's division is kind of like, it needs something else. It can't just be, oh, it's a great match, or oh Lord, that's not a good match. I feel like we only have one or the other side. We need something else. So the last one, my last draft pick for Raw, and it's so I heard your rule, and I watch how I do this. My last draft pick is Pete Dunne.
Come on.
So not Butch.
I knew what you did there.
Pete Dunne.
he got real specific when he said Pete Dunne.
Yep. So Pete Dunne makes his re-debut on Raw as Pete Dunne, and there you have it.
That's my guy.
That's my Raw draft pick.
Okay.
So is this yours? There it is right there.
Oh, but now you just spoiled my SmackDown one.
Oops, I didn't realize you were still on Raw. That's my fault.
Well, you want me? I'll run through my SmackDown real quick. So
go ahead.
So SmackDown, number 1, Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2,
yo, somebody just said that. I think it was Ed said they was the pick, or maybe it was somebody on Twitter said they was taking Judgment. Oh yeah, Ed. Literally.
SmackDown, number 1, Judgment Day, and that way give them the tag titles, and they can do
Dominic
it
is the world champion.
No.
Wow.
Number 2, Bobby Lashley. The reason Bobby Lashley on SmackDown, think about it. He was a former MMA fighter. Fox, it screams right there. Print money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Number 3, I had to go with her, Bayley.
Okay.
Solo, no damage control, Bayley, because you can see the writing on the wall. They're about to break up. Number 4 takes me back to my Raw draft pick. Now, remember I said I drafted Imperium to Raw, Austin Theory's on SmackDown, but guess what? I didn't say Austin Theory with the U.S. title. The U.S. title and Intercontinental title stay on the same shows. But now Austin Theory is the Intercontinental champion, and Gunther is the U.S. champion on Raw.
Wait, so you said both?
The titles stay.
Both titles stay on on the same show?
Yes. So when Gunther gets drafted to Raw, he becomes U.S. champion. Austin Theory becomes Intercontinental because it's the same tier, like they did with the tag teams. When they just switched, they did it with the women.
They did with the women's.
Yeah, but they were both women's championship, like United States and Intercontinental, not the same title.
They're the same tier.
They are. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. You're absolutely right.
But it's gonna lead into everything I'm saying.
Okay, I'm good. Keep going. This is getting good.
Number 5, Cameron Grimes.
New Cameron Grimes or old Cameron Grimes?
New Cameron Grimes.
Looks like $1 million, doesn't it?
Yes. Number 6, Shinsuke Nakamura. Number 7, Ricochet. Number 8, future Hall of Famer Randy Orton.
I was like Chris Jericho.
Number 9, LA Knight.
Mm-hmm.
With all of those I listed above, you could do any combination of a match, and there's your marquee match outside of your world title or your And last but not least, because she's still listed on the active roster, Naomi makes a return. until she's off that active roster, I'm still holding out for her being in WWE.
Bro, she said she was no longer with the company.
She's still on the active roster. Those are my draft picks.
Okay. So there you have it. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is Brother Brandon's. Brandon the Guy, guys. 2023 WWE Draft picks, Raw and SmackDown. Yeah, Sami Zayn for Raw, Imperium, Tegan Knox, Pretty Deadly. I missed that one. Tommaso Ciampa, that's a good pick. AJ Styles, Street Profits. How do you pronounce Dragunov's first name?
Ilyanov.
What he said, Dragunov. Number 9, Nikita Lyons. Number 10, Pete Dunne. And for SmackDown, he has the Judgment Day. Bobby Lashley, Bayley, Austin Theory, Cameron Grimes, Shinsuke Nakamura, Ricochet, Randy Orton, LA Knight, and Naomi. All right. That is that's a very Brandon roster. Now let me ask you a question. As the people are listening to this and as they're watching, how did you come down with this particular roster? Now, I know you gave kind of an overview of why you selected each person for each roster, what they would do. You even, started to hint at programs they will be participating in as they make their moves to the separate brands. But what was your rationale behind your draft picks?
2 things. One, will you need stars to cross over to give them a different appeal, or can they maintain on their own show? And the second one was Dwayne Allen always saying dance partners, dance partners, dance partners. So I made sure that the draft, barring the current champions like Roman stays on SmackDown, Bianca Belair stays on Raw, the only difference was the tag teams are now separate entities. Is there enough dance partners or enough combinations that Raw can last until WrestleMania next year to the next draft, and can SmackDown last until the next draft of next year? You know what I mean? So I just want to make sure it was a nice combination, because the ones I picked from NXT that you might not like Nikita Lyons, next year this time, is she going to be world champion? No. Could Chelsea Green be world champion next year? Possibly, because she's a veteran now. She's still a new face, but she's a veteran because of what she's done outside of the world, but she needs depth. It needs a different depth. Everybody can't be a Bronson Reed, a Omos, a Bobby Lashley. It's got to be mix it up a little so that way you attract more people to the product. And what would make it more interesting than you have a great match between, let's say, Imperium and Pretty Deadly, and then the next time you see a tag team is a comedy skit with Maximum Man Models and the Alpha Academy. You don't have to always have, oh my God, Giant Gable is the greatest. It could be, oh dang, this guy's actually funny. I want to see what he's going to do next week.
Okay. Well, listen, those are all great picks. And like I said, man, I definitely can appreciate that. I think your draft picks say a lot about the way you watch wrestling and your approach to the business overall, which is really, really good. Brian, do you have any comments about our brother Brandon's choices and why he chose what he chose?
I mean, I was giving him hell throughout the whole process, but no, the thing I love about this, because that's Brandon, and
bingo.
Brandon,
Yeah.
it is like I'm not, this is fun, and it's fun watching him put together this roster. I'm like, man, let's put this. If it was like a real back and forth draft, I would put it together on 2K just to see how it would play out.
Now, I wish
you go for the year though.
I didn't go for all A-list superstars or B-list. I said, who can make the best show?
You sound like a true booker, man. You sound like a true booker. Hey, listen, you sound like you've done this before, buddy.
I'm waiting to hear y'all.
I know who you forgot, though.
Who did I forget?
From Virginia, the York Daddy.
Wow.
Yo, that was spot on.
Why didn't you draft the York Daddy? Look how he has no comments. Look, he just has no comments. It's okay. It's okay. Maybe the next time for the York Daddy. He got cut from TNA too, so we're not even gonna. It's all right.
Brother Hugh said it best. That is absolutely Brandon. Oh, and the real Dwayne Allen. Wait, where's that? Hold on. Where's that drop real quick? Hold on. I gotta find this one. Hold on.
Anytime he pulls up a classic clip of me, it's
this dude gets on Twitter. This dude gets on Twitter and said, I'm sitting there, I'm on his show, and I'm scrolling the timeline, and what do I see? Oh, brother Brian H. First contacts in the business. And it's a picture of Virgil.
Bro, somebody said on Twitter, I said, "What is your impressions of this man? What is your honest impressions of this guy?" I said, "Listen, I tell you, an honest impression that I have is this is one of Brian H's right-hand man. Like this is one of the first contacts in the business you had." So,
Bro,
I mean, did you guys not have a conversation at East Point Mall? And did you guys not reunite at RCW while he was trying to fix his $1 million championship?
when
2011.
When he tried to recruit the real Dwayne Allen. That's what happened. He was trying to recruit. He thought the real Dwayne Allen was his meal ticket back into the professional wrestling business, more so WWE.
You know why that was?
Because you was 6'7".
No, because
and he saw it.
It's because nobody's coming to take pictures with him in $1 million championship. But I don't think he made any money that night. I'm like, wait a minute. He was over there talking to us the entire night. How did he make any money?
Yeah, because we stepped away. We literally said, like, yo, we're going to step away, let him try to, make a couple dollars. He did sell one picture. I remember he sold one picture.
Well, he came back to Baltimore because he knew a guy named Brian H. that he met at East Point Mall years ago. So. So, moving ahead in the 2023 mock WWE draft. Brian H., would you like to go, sir?
Well, I mean, I thought I was last since I lost.
No. See, it's just like
it's been last since I won, but
no, it's kind of like a coin toss. You can either accept it or you can defer it.
I'll accept it.
Okay, hold on. He accepted, everybody. Brian H., you are on the clock. Raw,
all right,
SmackDown.
Well, Brandon did Raw first, right?
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm gonna do SmackDown. I got a special place for SmackDown. It was the show that I could always watch. So here we go. Let me write down this time code. At number 1.
He's got to clip off his parts.
No, I was literally just writing for the descriptions later. Make it easier
cool.
for the podcast listeners. They can go right to the, they can just click it right there.
But
we're gonna make this
to the meat and potatoes, daddy.
So SmackDown, we getting right to business. We going number 1. You know what I'm gonna do. So y'all gave me heat because I didn't pick the right black moment for WrestleMania, the greatest WrestleMania moment of all time. But guess what? I'm gonna pick the right black guy first with Bobby Lashley. He's gonna be number 1. Insert immediately in a program. Not gonna win, but immediately in a program with the tribal chief Roman Reigns. We haven't seen that matchup in a long time. Number 2. Brandon picked him later than I thought, because I always thought Brandon liked this guy more than I do. I know he's one of the real Dwayne Allen's favorite guys. That is the face that runs the place, AJ Styles. We bringing him back to SmackDown where he belongs.
Back on SmackDown?
To me, he is the greatest SmackDown superstar in the modern era. Era.
Figgity facts.
If you look back at all he's done, WWE champion, Intercontinental champion, putting on banger after banger with Daniel Bryan. Number 3, guess what? I'm gonna do it. We reuniting the Hurt Business, baby. We're gonna put them on SmackDown. So Cedric and Shelton, they my number 3 pick, because I'm gonna keep the roster the way it is, just shuffle it around. And with this,
wait a minute.
I want to.
Shouldn't they be in the pick with Bobby?
Because I gotta. They're not together yet. They
you
not
definitely
together
yet. You wasted a whole pick, buddy.
Yeah, I would have put him as 1.
No,
bro,
because
you could have had 3 for the price of 1.
I could have, but I'm being fair, because the storyline, they're not together yet. Because I need to I'm not bringing them back together just yet. I'm gonna build it after they lose the Roman. I mean, after Bobby lose the Roman, then he'll get in a program with. I got this.
It's going somewhere. You got it. You got it, brother. We got it.
Number 4, I like tag team wrestling, and now I might have wasted a pick. Now I'm thinking about this one. Because number 4, I'm bringing the Good Brothers. I want them on SmackDown.
Oh wow!
He wasted 2 picks.
Because
picks.
You know what it is? Because like AJ been gone for so long that I forgot. Like wait, and it just dawned on me like wait, they are a group. But
you can manage the storylines later.
Yeah, but my plan wasn't to keep them in the same vicinity anyway.
Okay,
they allies, but not Number 5,
kind of like the New Day did a little bit.
Yeah, Mia Yim, because I'm already
you
saying I want. No, please, no, because I can't not at all keep her away from the Good Brothers as far as on TV, because I want her in the program with Shayna and Ronda. There's like real life friendships there that I want to exploit and bring back regurgitate some of that stuff from NXT. Number 6. Speaking of NXT, it is time for a call up. Do you have one of them call up gimmicks? If you don't, it's cool.
We got to get one.
Yeah, and the call up is none other than the former champion himself, Braun Breaker. I want him on Fox. It's time. Look, he can't do nothing else there no more. We already know he's not going to beat Melo Hayes. He's too good to be working with some of the other people. Is he the greatest yet? No, he's not going to be a world champion right now, but he's going to be working with some more superstars. So I'm bringing up Braun Breaker. And, you know, there's that Fox Sports connection, right? So he's going to be doing the TV shows. He's going to be at the college game days and all that stuff. Number 7. I'm putting some fire in this women's tag team division. It is time for these ladies to get called up. That is Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. I'm ready for them. And so I'm going to bring them up. Now, Fox called me, and they said they want some monsters. They want some big men. So you know what I did? They don't slap meat. They just knock people out. But you know what they also do?
Meaty men slapping meat.
They wear nice suits. They wear really nice suits. And I believe that it was a while ago, right here on this very program, the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast. It was brought to the attention. And once it was brought to the attention here, you started seeing it on TV. You guys might know who I'm talking about. That is the one and only Indus. I'm bringing them up because they're just too big. I want to see them work with the Viking Raiders. They too big. Like, who can realistically beat them on NXT? Let's be real.
That's a good one. You're actually right. That's a good one.
I like them. Yeah. And
that's a good one.
Number 9. This is gonna be now. See right here, I've separated them, but it starts in the draft for a reason. So number 9 and 10 is Damage Control because I'm bringing Bailey. 10? Yeah, because Bailey's coming over, but she's going to be working the main program, right?
Okay.
And she's going to like break away, and Damage Control is number 10 because this is where my SmackDown. I'm putting the women's tag title emphasis on the SmackDown brand. Yeah, they'll travel, but I'm going to get those tag team matches right there. So now let's take us to the red brand. Let's go to Monday nights. And when you go Monday nights, it's only one person who can be number 1. And that is the guy Monday Night Rollins, Seth freaking Rollins. He's not number 1 pick for Monday Night Raw. As much as I was like, thought about like, man, they want to take stuff to SmackDown. I was like, no, he just fits it. He's like Stone Cold when they first did the draft in 2002. He just fits, right? Number 2, I'm keeping Cody Rhodes on Raw. I want Cody there. Number 3, I want Lesnar. Yeah, I know he does a lot of low management, but I'm not finished. I ain't really care for what happened at WrestleMania, and I know Lesnar got his hands tied with Cody right now, but I ain't really care. So number 4 is gonna be the big man, Big Omos. So Omos coming in number 4, and number 5, I'm bringing over Hit Row. Because I want them working with the Maximum Male models and stuff. I want them in those programs. I want them doing the funny stuff. You know, they got a cool, you know, they got a little something to them. So I'm gonna bring them over, and just to give them a change of scenery also. Now, number 6, I need Bianca to have different opponents, and so for that, I'm calling the boss herself. The final boss, Miko Satomura. It's time to bring Miko Satomura. I'm bringing her to Monday Night Raw. And number 7, I'm bringing Asuka because I want that matchup too. Miko Satomura and Asuka. Woo! Number 8, it's USA. I need one of their best stars, The Miz. Number 9, I'm keeping the Judgment Day there. And number 10, I'm keeping the Street Profits there. Okay. So that is my draft, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. So that's everything, right?
Yep.
See, last time I jumped the gun. So here we go. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the brother. That dress is the Jack Daddy. Brian H. Waters, 2023 draft picks for Raw and Smackdown. And we got, so on Raw, we have Seth Rollins, we have Cody Rhodes, we have Brock Lesnar, we have Omos, we have Hit Row, Miko Satomura, Asuka, The Miz, The Judgment Day, The Street Profits, and on SmackDown, we have Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, Cedric and Shelton, the Good Brothers, Mia Yim, Braun Breaker, Katana Chance, and Kaden Carter, Inda Sheer, Bailey, and Damage Control. Brother Brandon, what do you say about Brian H's draft picks, Raw and SmackDown?
So I knew he was going to do all the current stars, and in my mind, if you do a draft, I'm gonna leave him there. We know Seth Rollins staying on Raw. That's why my draft was a little different, because I'm surprised he didn't just say Hulk Hogan on Raw or something crazy like that. Because you know how he goes to the stars. So we're like, oh, I'm gonna draft number 10 Stone Cold because he had a match at WrestleMania. No, I'm just messing with you. But I kind of had a feeling he was going to do it in that notion. So I expected it. I'm glad that we agree with Bobby. Now, I did have him in my notes as having a program with Roman, but then I thought about that UFC appeal too with the merger and everything. I'm like, oh, Fox. You know, it was all right there. Like, Bobby needs to be on SmackDown. He just has to be there. If you keep Lesnar on Raw, you need Bobby on there. So I like it. I like the Brian H. Porter feel.
I tell you what I like about it the most is that I like how you guys have different reasons and motivations as to why you chose your picks. I think it's good because it shows your personality. It shows how you guys think, you know, when it comes to same thing as I told Brandon when it comes to this business. And so like Brandon had his kind of idea and of kind of booking the stuff is about, you know, new faces and fresh opportunities versus Brian H was like kind of incorporating a lot of the business aspects to it, which are very, very real. You know what I mean? With mentioning USA, Fox, and also new talent. So yeah, I liked it. Like I said, it says a lot about you. I think these picks are very true to you guys, which is the best part about this thing. So there you guys have. Let's put it one more time, ladies and gentlemen, so for those who are watching to get a chance to see it.
He put Bailey on SmackDown too.
Yep. He did. He put Bailey on SmackDown. Yep. All right. So I guess it's my turn. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. I am officially on the clock. Hit the little draft stuff. I already see it. David Stern and NFL do that stuff. But here we go. I don't think I had mine in any particular order, right? But I think it might be. So here we go. You ready? I'll start with Raw. Number one. My number one draft pick, obviously. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Number two, Bailey. I'm just going to breeze right through mine. Number three. Now, number three, Becky Lynch, the man. Number four, Brock Lesnar. Number five, Legado del Fantasma, Santos Escobar and crew. See that? See, I just got four superstars on one roster through one faction.
Aren't they? So they officially LWO now, right?
I don't know if it's this. Like, I don't know. I think it's just a gimmick thing. Like, you know,
when they said it was something like this is hard to say. Boom, LWO now.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of it's almost like a fraternity. You know what I mean?
That's what that was another thing I was confused about. My bad. But go ahead. But
no, it's fine. Yeah. What number? Let me see. It was just
wait a minute. When you say four, are you including Ray in that? Were you including
no? Zelina Vega.
I'm sorry. I totally. Like I was like, wait a minute, it's three. I said, see, okay, I'm sorry. So yeah, all four.
I got Zelina. Number. Let me see. What's this? 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 7, Drew McIntyre. Yeah, that's right. Back on Raw. He's got nothing else to do on SmackDown. He's got nothing else to do. Number 8, Ricochet.
Back to Raw.
Yep.
I like
Number 9, The New Day. And last but certainly not least, number 10, Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, let me give you my reasoning for this roster. Hold on, my kid is disgruntled.
You want Shinsuke on Raw so he can wear red.
Well, he's gonna wear red regardless. But
I know if you book it, how dare you wear that blue?
don't
that
don't wear orange and black. Like, come on, man, cut it out.
Those are my colors, but I don't even want to see it.
Here's the whole point. What I'm saying is, Cody Rhodes is obvious, right? I think Cody Rhodes has done a good job of being kind of that white meat baby face, as they say in the business. Kind of
as
that,
hard as it is to do. Facts.
Yeah, I mean, he's just there, and now he has that sympathy factor, that goes along with what he, with his recent loss to Brock Lesnar. I think you can do a number of different matches. I'm thinking about what's going to carry the show, not necessarily a particular program, but a particular moment. So, like, if you look at who's already on the roster right now, and of course there'll be second and third rounds, to fill in the pieces. But as far as priorities are concerned, as the top, face on my program, I'm going with definitely going to go with Cody Rhodes. So Bayley is obvious. I need strong women on the brand, right?
Best in the world, one of the best in the world.
You know what I mean? So, like, it's Bayley. Bayley is one of those people that, like I said, Damage Control is just about finished, but I like her. Bayley can work with anybody, right? And I feel like as long as you have your strong pillars as far as women's wrestling is concerned, you can go in a number of different areas. Like Bayley can work with anybody, and it can be considered important because that's the level I think she's on. Becky Lynch is the same way. So you have so my pillars as far as women are concerned is Bayley, Becky Lynch, and as of right now, Bianca Belair, because she's the women's champion. I feel like there's a lot you can do with that, along with all the other women's wrestlers that will fill out eventually. Brock Lesnar is obvious. Someone that doesn't have to be there on the show, but because Raw is a 3-hour show, and it's when it comes to like USA and business, there's these moments where they need that jolt of extra star power. You know what I mean? So Brock Lesnar kind of fits that bill. Legado del Fantasma. I want to see Santos Escobar get going a little bit more, and I feel like the United States champion and Austin Theory needs dance partners. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think, and like I know, like it's obvious that style of wrestling or that kind of approach is usually like suited for SmackDown, but I think it's kind of like, but there's a reason why that I'm leaving SmackDown alone in regards to that. So I think having him over there, and also him having a faction, that gives him kind of room to do a number of different things, right? So he got
3 hours to film.
And that's what I'm saying. He can do stuff as a faction, or he can do stuff on his own. You know what I mean? Zelina Vega. It gives you a lot of options. I went with Drew McIntyre because he's kind of taking the place of Bobby Lashley. One point in time when Roman wasn't there, either Bobby Lashley was closing the show, or Seth Rollins, or in some cases it was Austin Theory. And I like that format that Raw kind of has in place, where it's like, with Roman being kind of part-time-ish, he'll send the Bloodline, he'll send Paul Heyman, but the champion wasn't on the show, but it gave other top guys to be the focal point of the show, which didn't make them feel like they had to take a back seat, because the show starts with Seth Rollins, it closes with Bobby Lashley. It starts with Bobby Lashley, it closes with Seth Rollins or Austin Theory. And I feel like Drew McIntyre needs that space. He needs new opponents. He needs fresh opportunities going forward. Ricochet, same thing. Austin Theory needs dance partners, and I feel like Ricochet, he reminds me of Evan Bourne. Evan Bourne was kind of that guy early on, where he was kind of one, and even Rey Mysterio at one point. These guys were put at the forefront. They were the designated pieces for this. You know what I mean? And so yeah, and the New Day, obviously, come on now, that's just star power. Just like it's versatility. You can go any direction you want to go. Yeah, you can have a tag team. If Big E returns, Big E can challenge. At the top of the card, he can also fill that space. I mean, we haven't seen Big E versus Seth Rollins. You know what I mean? We haven't seen Seth Rollins. I mean, not in recent day, like in wrestling lore, yeah. You know what I mean? And Shinsuke Nakamura, same thing. Just another veteran that is a fan favorite. 3-hour show. You need to fill your space. You need to have matches, and you need to have matchups. So giving him an opportunity to kind of go out there and do what he does best without having the pressure of saying, okay, when you only have a little bit of time, like Shinsuke is not going to come out there and be in a funny segment or a deep storyline. Shinsuke is going to come out there and kick somebody's teeth in. And, you know, with the roster that you have, and of course, as it fills out, he's the perfect fit for that he's a fan favorite. He reminds me of Junkyard Dog. You know what I mean? That doesn't have to be world champion. He's just, when he comes out and his music hits, you know what he's there to do. And he's just as big as your top guy as anybody else was. Like when I first heard that Junkyard Dog at one point was just as big as Hogan. But you know, Junkyard Dog usually isn't spoken about, at least from later generations, in the same conversation as Hogan. But if you were there, they said, oh no, at one point he was just as big. But that's how the business should be, though. So your focus doesn't only have to be on a champion, because now all the focus goes on the belt, where you're only good if you have the title. Now you have all these top guys disgruntled because they're saying, well, I want to be a top guy, but I got to have a strap around my waist. But yet, if you keep building these guys without the title, they can be big because of who they are, not because they're the champion. So,
yeah.
SmackDown Live. Here we go. My number one pick for SmackDown Live as we wrap this up. Johnny Gargano. I feel like Johnny Gargano is someone that needs a fresh. He reminds me of AJ Styles in that 2016 era. You know what I mean? Like, if right time, right space, opportunity. SmackDown to me should have been the home of all the new faces before everybody left for AEW, before Triple H took over. I wanted everybody, all the old dogs from SmackDown, to move on to Raw, fill that 3-hour show. So guys like Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole and those NXT guys that were kind of like not trying to come to the main roster, they should have filled those spots. So I think Johnny Gargano was a perfect fit for SmackDown. Come out there and do what he does best. And he can also, I want to see him challenge for the Intercontinental Championship long term. Like Brian, they said before, my next pick, you need monsters, man. Braun Strowman. He's in the perfect spot that he's in right now. He'd be doing the same thing he's doing now. Come out there, do your little choo-choo train thing, destroy people, run people over, have your moments, keep it moving. You need that for television. You need that for Fox. My third pick, Tommaso Ciampa. I think Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano are in the same boat. They need that room to be important, and they need that space. You're talking about guys that can go out there and wrestle with anybody. And I want to see Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa on the main roster. I think that's a feud that can carry SmackDown long term. You know what I mean? They can do so much if they're let loose. And I feel like with a lot of those older veterans out of the way, SmackDown's always been traditionally the show that kind of helps showcase talents that have gone underutilized. SmackDown's always been one of those shows, and I think we have seen the success of so many superstars in that same regard. And I think Tommaso Ciampa is one of those guys that I feel like needs that space to do so. Number 4, Asuka, with Rhea Ripley as SmackDown Women's Champion, a relatively young superstar in the making, Grand Slam champion in women's wrestling. The matchups that her and Asuka can have, along with the other women on the roster, could just be phenomenal. You know, you still have the women's tag team champions that go between both shows. So I think Asuka can do anything. She's the best at what she does in regards to who she works with. She makes everybody in the ring look like they're a big deal. So after that, the OC, my guys, the Good Brothers, the OG Good Brothers, and AJ Styles. AJ Styles is just a pillar of SmackDown. I think he can lead guys like Johnny Gargano and the Tommaso Ciampas. You know what I mean? Like he kind of was the blueprint for what you can do when you're given an opportunity. And I think him having him and also, well, what they can do as a unit, what the Good Brothers can do as a tag team, what AJ can do on his own, where they don't have to necessarily be intertwined with each other, but you know,
I was gonna say that's a good locker room pick right there.
Yeah, of course. They know that they're locker room leaders, they're fun guys. But yeah, my next pick is a tag team, obviously the Viking Raiders. I love them on SmackDown, but they need dance partners. I want to see them work with people that matter. I want to see them go head to head with the OG Good Brothers and a few others. You know what I mean? Raw's a showcase show to me. Like it's you know what I mean? That's why Chad Gable and Otis do such a great job, is because they go out there and they put on a showcase every week, and they can fill that spot no matter whatever time they're given, whatever scenario. The Viking Raiders are intriguing to me. I think they have a lot of momentum, but they need to be put in a position where they can really, really thrive. And I think they need fresh matchups that matter to people. So that's why I chose the Viking Raiders in that space. My next pick for SmackDown Live is the Hurt Business. I'm taking all 5 guys. I'm taking Bobby Lashley. I'm taking Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. I'm taking MVP and I'm taking Omos. That's like the complete Hurt Business, because they're the ones that can at some point can run SmackDown. The same space that Bobby was in on Raw, he can carry that same space to SmackDown. I mean, people love the Hurt Business so much. Like, imagine getting out on SmackDown every week, and it's a 2-hour show. That, like, even if your champion's not there, I mean, we get plenty of matchups with him and Gunta and Imperium. You know what I mean? So, like, you can have the OC versus the Imperium. You can have the Hurt Business versus the OC. You can have the Hurt Business versus the Viking Raiders. You can do so much. So yeah, I got the Hurt Business. Omos can do so. He, imagine Omos and Braun Strowman getting into it. This you can go a number of different ways.
Facts.
My 9th pick, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. That's right. I'm not they're probably my favorite women's tag team right now.
Mm-hmm.
They can do anything. Like, I know people are I don't know why people feel the way they feel about them both, but they're amazing. Like, they play their jobs well. They're vets. They're bullies. They can do so much.
Those tag titles are waiting to get to their waist.
It's only a matter of time. Like it's there's no way in the world you don't do that. And my last pick is the Brawling Brutes. That's right. I'm taking all 3. I'm taking Sheamus. I'm taking Ridge Holland. I'm taking Pete Dunne. You know what I mean? Pete Dunne doesn't have to be Butch. You have that opportunity. And then you also have the Brawling Brutes versus the Hurt Business. You have the Brawling Brutes versus the Viking Raiders. You have the Brawling Brutes versus DOC. You know what I mean? So you have a few factions that you can do. And one that I missed before Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler was The Miz. The Miz is another guy that was kind of the heart and soul of SmackDown. Like, guys like The Miz and AJ Styles kind of, once again, they represent what you can do when you're given that time, space, and opportunity, and not on a time crunch.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, those are my picks, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, for Raw and SmackDown.
I like them. I really like that Legado del Fantasma pick.
Mm-hmm.
For all the reasons you name. I'm a huge fan of those. Santos Escobar, man. I think Monday Night Raw would suit him.
Yeah.
He meets the airport test. He looks like a star.
Yeah.
And I've been feeling this way about him since he was on in the cruiserweight division. And it's not too many cruiserweights, unfortunately. It's just not the way it used to be. To me, nobody ever will do cruiserweights right the way WCW did. I should say. I didn't say right. I'm gonna say the way WCW did it. So he meets the airport test. Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes on the same show is always fun because you can always just, if you need a good match on Raw because you got a lot of eyeballs on the product, you can just go to it. If you're in a town in a house show and somebody get hurt or whatever, one of their opponents, you can just go to it. It just works. I like where you're going with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. I would love to see them feud on the main roster too. And I think even if you decide to go into some of the cinematic stuff, it would be fun for Fox. I could see them having a lot of fun with that. I know they kind of gotten away with it, but yeah, I think that could be fun.
No, man, I think that, like I said, I it's not that I guess my rationale was I didn't feel a need to redo the whole roster, like do a complete switch up, do a complete roster gut, but just to kind of add some pieces in, take some pieces out, right? So like the Miz has never historically done well on Raw. Let's keep it 100. Like, he comes in, he gets lost in the sauce, and then he ends up like hosting something, and you know what I mean. But on SmackDown, that's where his bread and butter has been. The matchups are there, the opportunities there. You know what I mean? There's so much more he has done with SmackDown. Same thing with like Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre has nothing else left to do on SmackDown. You know what I mean? It's easy to get lost in the sauce on Raw, but at the same time, though, the way Triple H is booking the show is different from the way he was on Raw last time with Vince McMahon booking the show. So I took that into account. You know what I mean? Like what if Shinsuke decides to turn heel? You know what I mean? What if we get a Shinsuke versus Drew McIntyre matchup? And you know what I mean? Like that's like a matchup of epic proportion. I'm obsessed with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa on SmackDown. I'm obsessed with the OC on SmackDown, and I'm obsessed with the Viking Raiders. Like I just certain things I'm just not letting go. And the Brawling Brutes is another interesting matchup. But I like the Hurt Business on SmackDown as well. I think that could shake things up. And so yeah, that was my rationale behind all my picks for the 2023 WWE Mock Draft.
This was fun.
Gentlemen, what do you think? What do you think?
So here's my thing. So you took the exact opposite approach. You want to change the people to give them a fresh start. I want to take the people to them to have a start. So like when you say like putting Drew on Raw, no, I want to bring Drew dance partners to SmackDown to keep them there. You get what I'm saying? Like I want to bring people to, like for instance, I want Bobby Lashley on SmackDown for the reason that he could mix it up with Roman, of course, like me and Brian both said. But now you have him and Lashley. If you need a good feud or a good match, he's there. You know what I mean? Like I want to put him in that. I want Randy Orton on SmackDown to be a dance partner for a LA night because we know what Randy Orton can do to anybody's career. You know what I mean? Like but it seemed like your thought pattern was, all right, freshen them up, put them where they were at best. Like I think Brian said it with AJ. AJ belongs on SmackDown, which I agree with, but I want him on Raw because I want him to do some things with some people I'm bringing to Raw. You get what I'm saying? So I was yeah. He took the opposite approach. I took it as though this is the roster that's there. How do you freshen it up? You said, no, freshen up the star. I went to the roster. You went to where's the superstar best. Like now that you say it, the Miz was better on SmackDown. I can't even.
I mean, think about it. Like every time he goes back to Raw, he's always on that microphone, and I respect that. But it's like he did the thing with Dexter Lumis. Like when you look back at his career, you're gonna say, you know what I mean? Like imagine how to what level Gunther can go to with the Miz, because
and
Miz
that's why I put him on Raw.
You know what I'm saying? Like Miz can go, no, I'm staking my claim to that IC title. I've made this title relevant again. And then, like I said, you know, as Miz is you know, he's kind of, I don't say he's a joke, but he's a bit of a jester sometimes. Like you know, he's the host of WrestleMania, it makes sense. But like it seems to me he's tougher on SmackDown. He gets his mojo. I can see the Miz taking Gunther to the limit. You know what I mean? And you know, also dealing with like Imperium and stuff like that. And I think ultimately it takes Gunther to the next level, but it's like with him on that show, I think he can carry that show as well, right? You can start in the show with Gunther, you can start in the show with Bobby Lashley, you can start in the show with The Miz, you can start in the show with AJ Styles, like depending on whatever feud. That's kind of it right now. I chose versatility, and I chose, like I said, just people that I think probably would benefit from, you know, opportunities. If Adam Cole was available, he would definitely be on SmackDown. Like I would fill that SmackDown roster to make it look like NXT Black and Gold as much as possible. You know what I mean? Like for instance, Kevin Owens doesn't do well on SmackDown.
No,
like he's a showcase guy. I just like he's been on there and he's had his matches. He's been United States champion. I'm like, it doesn't seem like it fits who he is. You know what I mean? So
but Sammy fits better on SmackDown because Sammy gets his mojo on SmackDown. But I put him on Raw because I want him to
showcase guy.
Yeah, I want him to be on. But the thing is, like, I had to really think about it. He was always on when he was on SmackDown. He was always on TV, even pre-Bloodline stuff. He was there. Remember the whole conspiracy there?
That's when he started. Like,
and he was Shinsuke's mouthpiece for a while too. Remember, he didn't want to present.
Because he came back. Yep, he gave him a new title.
Yep.
And then he eventually won it. Like, look, man, I know you're upset. This is just what it is. I'm like, come on, Sammy. Nah, it makes sense though. But
you didn't have Randy. I'm surprised you didn't have Randy Orton.
I didn't. It's because I felt like he didn't need to be a priority guy. You know what I mean? Like he's a guy at this point. He's gonna fill up my roster because it's like if I get Randy, I wanted to go younger. Like I still wanted to, you know what I mean? Like Randy's always gonna bring up the rear at this point. It's because he's a legend. So it's like no matter where Randy is, he's gonna carve his spot out. I don't need him to shake things up. Wherever he goes, he's gonna shake it up regardless. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'll tell you. There's one honorable mention that I wanted to bring to SmackDown's women's, and I thought you were gonna choose her, but you didn't. Zoe Starks. She
I
was.
had her on my first list, and I
She was
scratched
an
her
honor.
off.
She was an honorable mention for me, man. I really wanted to bring her to SmackDown because I'm like, with her athletic ability, she needs to work with Asuka. She needs to work with Rhea. Like that's the youth movement. Like Rhea's a fresh like world champion. You know what I mean? So now she doesn't have to just keep feuding with all the established girls. Like she can start elevating some of these other new talent. Like we had the women's rumble. We saw they painstakingly introduced us to so many new faces. And I know for a lot of casual wrestling fans, that can be difficult because it's like, well, I don't know her. But you know, it's like you have to do it. We saw it years ago in the women's battle royal when we saw Bianca for the first time doing her 450 splash or whatever it was, and you know, we didn't know who they were. You know what I mean? And it was like, oh, who are they? And we said the same thing. Oh, well, who are these girls? And then yet they're the ones running the show now. You know, years before that, the generation before that, it was the Four Horsewomen and what they were doing in NXT. A lot of us were not familiar with who they were and what they did, but time and time, and then after a while, they became household names. So it's like, yeah, Triple H introduced us to all these new faces. So it's like, oh, well, shoot, now Rhea's champion. She can elevate people now. Like they spent all this time elevating Rhea. You know, she was the pet project. Okay, now you're the next one. Her and Bianca. Think about it. Think about their match. If you look at their match, they had in NXT compared to where they are now. Like light years of a difference. You know what I mean? And yet now they're both in the driver's seat, and now they've got their young champions going into the future. Charlotte can take time off. Bayley can figure out what she wants to do. You know, Sasha can go somewhere else. Yeah,
it was another pick. That putting Rhea and Asuka on the same show.
Yep,
I like that. Because one of the things I was thinking about when you was talking about it, we got that match at WrestleMania, but nobody remembers that. Because let's be real, the only match we remember from WrestleMania 37 is the only women's match is Sasha and Bianca. But you know, that was like Rhea Ripley, you know, and plus it was made so fast. But now we could get a true program with them too, and Rhea. She got some dirt on her face. Let's be real, you know. And this is no by any means disrespect. I just can't think of another analogy, you know.
Right.
But it's time for her, you know, like you said, elevating people. You got her feet dirty. Most important member of the Judgment Day, in my opinion. So
they built it around her and Dominic, like new faces.
And that's why I want Bayley as Rhea's dance partner, because I think we've been deprived of that match. And I think them two, if you put Rhea and Bayley with time for it to breathe, and Bayley as the solo SmackDown's Bayley,
nope.
Rhea's going to go to the next level when she takes on Bayley, just like everybody that takes on Bayley.
There's no in the world they can do that. Like, who's going to want to go after them?
But what I'm saying is, once you do that, now Rhea now becomes the final boss. You get what I'm saying? Like that's
gonna that's
going to make her like, oh shoot, she did it. Like,
but she's going to end up like Becky Lynch. You got to start the show and end with her.
Yeah, that's what I want, Rhea. Because Rhea's, she's getting to that point. You get what I'm saying?
Rhea showed
I mean,
that
she definitely has it. Yeah.
Because it wasn't.
She can, like, you remember what she looked like before, right? Like in pandemic match, you were like, okay, yeah, she's getting her feet wet. But now I was like, oh yeah, she's in control.
She was in a tag match, you know. And now you look at what she's doing now. Like I understand, you know, why her and Charlotte won the main event, but it's like, okay, let's go out there and work. Let's show. You know what I mean? And only the Usos and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn could have followed them. Nobody else could have followed them.
Nobody could follow.
No, not at all.
You would have put any other match on that. You would have like, why wasn't that? You would have been talking about why wasn't that the main event?
Because that's how I was talking about Charlotte and Asuka when they had their match at WrestleMania. I was like, bro, this could have closed the show.
Yes,
and that was the third match of the night.
Right.
Yep.
At the end of the night, I'm like, bro, why didn't that should have been the main event?
Yo, speaking of that main event, I'm glad you brought that up. Before we get out of here, y'all see the report that said Shane McMahon wanted to go at Brock Lesnar, and Road Dogg said he stopped him?
Why?
I respect him.
He threw the title. Remember when he
I respect him. He threw the title with his dad.
Okay. Oh, you talking about that incident? I thought you talking about this like the one he tore his quads. Where's he gonna go?
No.
Yeah.
Nah, they cool down. And I'm like,
I thought that was funny to hear. I said Shane, but you know what? I think Shane would have probably stood up to him and been in the hospital later on.
He's a McMahon.
And he would have took it like a boss.
Yeah.
Like at least go out like no punk.
Yeah, he would have definitely stood up to him.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
don't get me
Jericho
wrong.
did.
Yeah, and Jericho.
Yeah.
When he hurt Randy Orton, he was like, "Bro, what are you doing?" You know. So I mean, yeah, I think he would have though. That would have been oof.
That would have
What
made
you
the
mean?
headlines. You talking about all out
Yeah.
brawl out? It would have been that would have been the talk of the town.
All because Brock was mad because he couldn't drop the title.
And
Yeah.
they changed the finish on him at the last minute.
Well, yeah, during the match.
I'm not
Oh, it was during
mad
the
at him.
match. I didn't know it was during. I thought it was before he went out there.
It was during the match, from what I've heard, and I remember sitting there because I was sitting next to Dwayne. I never see him get mad at a match. He's like, "Yo,
Bro,
come on, yo." He's like,
I was pissed,
and he was
bro.
like, "Yeah," because all they gonna do is keep having him go to Suplex City, and then Roman go come out with a spear and win the match. This don't make no sense. And now look at Roman Reigns.
I mean, the crazy part.
Time.
I know that's the crazy part, ain't it? I'm saying the part that blows me a lot. Like it's crazy how for years, Brock Lesnar has been depicted as someone that's just like, I'm here for a paycheck, but he has been quite invested in what he has wanted to do and who he's wanted to work with and how he want. Like I just found out today that during the interview they said he didn't want to break the streak with the Undertaker. Like he fought it. It was like, yo, they said I don't know who they said it was. Somebody had to like talk him into like, listen, this is the right thing to do. And he was against it. I was like,
yeah, he wanted somebody else to do it. He said he didn't need to. I think he was like, yeah, somebody else should. He said, I'm not the person to do that. Because they originally wanted Randy to do it, and Randy was like, no, I'm not doing that. Or was it Randy or Edge? One of the two, they wanted to break the streak, and he was like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Edge wanted Edge to do it at 24 because they both went into that WrestleMania undefeated. And that was the story along with the title. And Edge was like, nah, I don't want that.
He was like, I'm not.
I would still stand by. I understand why it was Lesnar. But if you could have, in a perfect world, and this is just me, not just because like I was there, I thought it should have been Roman at 33, considering the way everybody felt that night. If they could have put on the match, if Undertaker didn't chase trying to have that last good match, which I'm kind of glad he did because we got the Boneyard match with AJ Styles. So selfishly, I'm glad. Sorry he had to go through Goldberg beforehand, and you know,
Goldberg almost killed him.
Yeah, and Kane and Shawn Michaels and stuff. But you know, when you look at it, if he would have lost to Roman that night, oh my goodness, that would have been crazy because it would have been the first loss. Roman was there, you know, crying. Everybody knew Roman was going to be the guy, regardless of how we felt. I always say the kids loved him. We didn't, but the kids loved him. So regardless of what that was their guy, you know. But that would have been a moment.
Yes, I think that would have been the right call because that would have been what we would have talked about. That could have sparked the whole tribal chief. Because wasn't it the next night on Raw he couldn't even cut his promo because they kept Yeah, it was like he didn't even say nothing.
I'm gonna be honest with you though. I stand by Brock Lesnar beating Undertaker.
I feel you.
Yeah. Because it sent Brock Lesnar to the stratosphere. We were like, well, if he beats Undertaker, that means he's never losing. And there was a point in time where it was like, yo, Brock Lesnar's dang near unstoppable. If he was the one chosen to break the streak, anybody that had a chance of beating Brock Lesnar, you were a made man. And then Brock Lesnar started selling to all the big dogs. And I was like, like I said, he restored the legend of Goldberg. Like Goldberg, if you look at his last runs, his last runs in WCW was weak. He came back to WWE. They cooled him off again. You know what I mean? Then he left on such a sour note, but it's like, and it was the perfect timing when you look at it, it's because the network was. I told you at the time, but my child was I don't know 6 or 7. His favorite wrestler was Goldberg. I'm like, how? It's because he came back to WWE and then he started watching stuff on the network, and I was like, so now he saw the same Goldberg. He saw the Goldberg from WCW, but then he saw that same version of Goldberg on on his
2003 version.
Exactly. Like and I was like, and like if you to this day he'll tell you Undertaker and go back, and I'm like, how? That's my generation. But that's what he got a chance to see though. And I was like, man, that all happened because of Brock Lesnar. So it's like, oh, this happened. He was spearing people and beat him in 10 seconds. Well, shoot, he speared and beat the guy who beat the Undertaker in 10 seconds. This guy must be legit. And I was like, well, I mean, he sacrificed Kevin Owens, Bray Wyatt in the midst of it. But they made their money with Goldberg.
Look at the run, right? He beats Undertaker. He goes on this incredible run where he don't lose again like convincingly, right? Until he loses to the Undertaker at SummerSlam. Like even taking the titles off of him, he didn't get pinned. That was a cash in. And then during the rematch, it was some shenanigans. So boom, Seth Rollins didn't pin him. Seth Rollins didn't pin him until WrestleMania 35. So the next time, and then Lesnar gets suspended. So next time he really loses is to the Undertaker. So it was what was that, like a 18-month buildup where he just won that dominance. And I remember you saying this before. This is before we was doing weekly stuff. It was John Cena that solidified him. Because if John Cena don't go to Suplex City, it doesn't solidify that Undertaker win.
Yeah, because he was Captain America. Like John Cena got manhandled and I remember it was a fight. And remember when they first got in the fight and he busted his lip, and John Cena looked at him like, oh, so you hit me for real, huh? And it was like a big brawl out. And then even same thing, the backstage brawl that Brock Lesnar and Undertaker had, and you had Archer's Mark, chill out, and I was like, oh man, and it's one of the few times Vince allowed those moments to kind of happen, probably because it was Undertaker, he had something to do with it, but they were really fighting all the way into backstage, and the fact that you needed the whole roster to come out there and separate these two, I was like, man, this is good television. It's because once again, you made one guy. So then when Undertaker retires and he walks away, now Brock Lesnar was the new sheriff in town. It's like he was one I put down the guy that ran this place. Now it's my show. And it was when Brock Lesnar came back, it was like, oh no, somebody's going to Suplex City and the match is going to last 5 minutes and you better hope you survive. But then, like I said, Brock Lesnar for some reason got to get around these young guys, and all of a sudden he's losing left and right. I don't remember the last time he won convincingly since, of course, obviously this past WrestleMania. But I was like, man, why is Brock losing so much? This dude was really invested in kind of making guys like
rematch with Bobby.
The match he made Bobby Lashley important. You know what I mean? He his feud with Roman is just off the charts. And then now Cody, dude, he knows what he's doing. He's way more invested than people give him credit for. The same way he's sitting back watching Austin Theory matches, giving him pointers. And I was like, this is the guy you tried to convince me that he didn't care about anything but the money.
Exactly. Logan Paul.
Yeah, he's sitting there watching Logan Paul's stuff, telling him, man, you did a great job on your stuff, man. He's watching him and giving him tips, and he's telling him, no, you got it, man. I think you figured it out. You understand this business more than anybody. And I was like, this is the guy you said is only worried about a paycheck. It doesn't seem like it to me. And now he's talking about he wants to work with Gunther. They're going to kill each other.
Y'all make sure y'all sign up for the Patreon. The boys gotta go to SummerSlam. It's my birthday. It's my birthday weekend.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cole Gas at the Pacer. Y'all coming to Detroit.
Oh my god. Let me ask you this question. Is
it might be a Wale Mania at SummerSlam.
What?
Are they doing one at SummerSlam?
It might be.
Interesting.
I just put that in the atmosphere. Pure ignorance in the building.
Wale Slam. Right. What you about to say, Brendan?
I had a question. Do you think Bianca Belair is building a streak?
I don't think it's necessarily a streak. I just think it's just an established brand. She is the embodiment of what they're looking for when they need established brands. It's because you put her in a program and it automatically makes sense.
I'm talking about WrestleMania streak. You think they're building that for her?
I don't think so, but I think that they know that we're counting. You know what I mean?
Oh,
it's like the Undertaker. Undertaker, they never intended for it to be a streak, but after a while, it's like, yeah, you've won 12 of these straight. Then it became a thing. Right. You know what I mean? And I think they're kind of going with it with Bianca. Now, if they find the Lex Luthor to her Superman, I'm sure they have a reason to. But I'm at this point, they're not looking for a reason. They're still building her legacy. She's taking down all the big dogs, including Asuka. She impressed me in that match. I was like, whew, I didn't think she was gonna. It's not that I didn't think she could do it, but I've never seen her wrestle that style with Asuka like that. She had a little edge. Yeah, she was going so quick. I was like, oh, I didn't know you had that in your bag, but it was impressive. But like I said, it's the building of the Bianca Belair legacy. She's gonna be one carrying that torch for a long time. Her and Rhea, they're up next. They're up now. You know what I mean?
They are now.
Yeah, so it's you got to have those wins. You know what I mean? And important wins. You beat Asuka, you're a bad man pajama, because Asuka's not to be played with by any means. You know what I mean? So And it wasn't overly gimmicky and overly story, like, oh, she's a heel and she slapped my mama and she called me. Like, it was nothing. It was like, no, I won the Rumble. I want your title, and I'll do anything to get it. It was built around the competition, which is kind of a nod to like New Japan and All Japan and Pro Wrestling Noah, because that's what Japanese wrestling is usually built on. So I'm glad they didn't put her in a situation where she was going to be uncomfortable like Shinsuke has been. Shinsuke was so popular, they tried to make him into something that he's not. But it's like with Asuka, they made sure like they kept it competition based. But like I said, if you watch Japanese wrestling, that's how a lot of their feuds are booked, and then the stories are infused based off the competition. So it's like she didn't have to go too far outside of her boxes because she had a reason to be like, oh, like if Nikki Cross has a beef with the with Johnny Gargano's wife, there's a story behind it. You know what I mean? She's stalking her, she's coming behind doors. There's a reason as to why. There's a rabbit hole we have to go down. Versus if she wins the Royal Rumble, now she's chasing after the title, but she has a reason to now. It's based off the competition, not just, oh, well, Bianca's hair reminds me of my stuffed animal when I was, you know what I mean? Something, whatever story they can come up with.
That's something crazy.
Yeah. So
Go.
And I think that's
reminds me of a stuffed animal.
Yeah, so like, and I think that's what's smart about, you know, they've never, even when Vince was in control, and I'll give him credit, I've never seen her. I've seen them hold her back, but I've never seen her be put in a situation where I'm like, it doesn't. Why they got her doing that? Like, imagine if she came out like Nikki ASH, I'd be like, okay, this is just stupid because now you're making her do something that's not in her wheelhouse. But they've allowed her to keep this kabuki warrior-ish, you know, and keep a lot of the elements of Japanese women's wrestling. And, you know, it's been incorporated into WWE style. And every girl she's been in the ring with has been able to keep up with it. So,
and I like that EO is the next challenger.
She's definitely up next. Like she's another one.
I love the fact that EO's the next challenger.
Japanese women's wrestlers are so tough. They're so sharp. They connect. It's like they're good hands all the way across the board. You know what I mean? So it's like they're not there to cut, and they let them cut promos in their own language because it just sounds cool. Like watching Raw, she got pissed at Bayley and she just shot off in her native tongue. And I was like, bro, I love when they let them just do that, because Asuka does the same thing. She'll cut her whole promo in Japanese and they say one sentence in English. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Kenny Omega does the opposite in New Japan. When he was there, he would rattle off his whole promo in English and they say like,
and I said you a good night or something in Japanese.
And I swear, give off his last sentence was in Japanese, just to show people like, oh yeah, I can't speak fluent Japanese. I just choose not to because I'm a bad guy. And I was like, wow, that's genius. So it's subtle nuances like that of course that the realm has to pick up. So good stuff. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Well, good brothers. I think we did it, man. We had a successful mock draft tonight, man. I think it was something different. It was something fun, something for us to get our brains involved in. I apologize early on for all the technical difficulties. The show should have been much better, but you know what? You gentlemen did an excellent job and we pulled it off. But stay tuned to our social media pages. I'm pretty sure Instagram and Twitter, we will post our top 10 priority picks and we will continue the conversation there. So if you have much to say about this, and also tell us what you think. What would you do in this situation if you had to choose 10 superstars for Raw, 10 superstars for SmackDown, and all wrestlers were eligible to be drafted? Let us know who you would choose and who you would build your shows around moving forward. Brothers, any last words before we get out of here?
Man, thanks to everybody for tuning in and sharing on social media. Everybody who hopped in the comment section, we appreciate y'all. Let us know what your drafts are. You know, reply to us, rate our picks, you know, and make sure you check out Patreon. We got more exclusive content coming.
It's patreon.com/wrestling_realm. It's patreon.com/wrestling_realm. All exclusive content stuff there. Also, championship culture coming soon. Brother Brandon is working hard. As he said at the beginning of the show, he has so much to come, so much to offer. I mean, it's going to be everywhere. Championship Reels, Championship Live, Championship Culture, everything. So if you want to learn more about what it means to be a champion and how we adapt to the culture as wrestling fans through championship belts, titles, etc., trust me, the Belt King himself, Brandon, the guy is on the job. He has so much. We've seen like snippets of the content he's got coming out. I'm so excited for it. Information that you need about how to purchase replica belts, the differences between certain titles, the history of certain things. It's going to be such a good time. So stay tuned to the Wrestling Wrealm Instagram account as well for championship reels, where he'll give you kind of bits and pieces of some of the content that's coming soon. Anything else? Did we cover everything?
I'm interested to see when the WWE does the draft. Let's see who gets which picks. Let's see how close we are to the actual.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll definitely reconvene. Too bad we can't do like we should do like a live stream.
I was gonna say let's do a live stream that night.
Be on live and just watch the draft and see what they come up with each night. And even though they're gonna spread it out throughout the whole night, but yeah, that'll be fun, man, to see where our picks match up with what they actually do as far as that is concerned. Also shout out to AEW, man. Jeff Hardy came back tonight as of this recording. Sting cut a mean promo as much. There we go. Let's give it up for Jeff Hardy. I'm happy to see him back, man. Jeff Hardy does no wrong. Yeah, Jeff Hardy does no wrong. Sting does no wrong. I saw Hook. Hook was in the ring. I'm still waiting to see Jay White get in the ring with AEW.
He gave it to MJF too.
He did. Somebody said of course that the brothers at Public Enemies said Sting just put him in a blender. Shout out to Darby. He put an MJF in a blender. Darby Allin and Swerve. They definitely showed up. Darby's starting to grow on me a little bit. I don't
just starting to grow on you.
I'm starting to understand him more. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I was too unfamiliar with him, and then I got to know him during the pandemic, and then they were comparing him to Jeff Hardy, and I was looking at him through the wrong lens, and it's like I see him now, and it's like for some reason him being with Sting made him make sense to me. I think he's very authentic. I don't think he's like trying to be like he came off extra over emo, but it's like he's kind of not. He's just himself, which is always good. Authentic is good. Good things, big things on the horizon for AEW as they continue to enjoy their success. Always root for another professional wrestling company. I want to see them do better. I want to see more. I don't know.
I want more belts from them.
Well, that's awkward coming from the belt guy to say you don't want to see them any more belts. Like I don't know how I feel about that.
Got enough championships between the two companies.
Yeah, that's true. And FTW championship. Apparently that's a defensible title. So like I don't like what are we defending that title now? But anyway, we're not getting to that, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna wrap up. Any last words, brothers, or we out?
We out.
We will catch you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, same bat place.